Except when I whoop this man, I want to be declared by all as the greatest of all time.
That's right.
Because the stage is set. I'm 32 years old. My legs are gone. This man is strong. You talking about how great he was, and now we're going to see.
We are the champion and the #1 contender, so I'm pretty sure that it'll be a fight from the first bell to the ending bell. I predict that you'll be seeing a good fight.
He was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, who also possessed a well-earned reputation as a fierce knockout artist. The challenger had won the title at age 22, been forced into retirement, but still called himself the greatest.
I think that Muhammad, like Joe Frazier and all these guys at this stage, can only do what I let them do. And I'm not intending to let them do much.
In the autumn of 1974, it was accepted as fact that George Foreman had the boxing world in the palm of his powerful hand. Soon after capturing the heavyweight gold medal at the Mexico City Olympic Games, he had begun a ferocious assault on the professional ranks. The culmination of his ascent was a shot at Joe Frazier's title, but it was over in 2 rounds. And so began the reign of boxing's most intimidating champion since Sonny Liston.
Well, I think I'm nearing possibly the best of condition I've ever been in. I got more to train for now. And whenever you got a lot of obstacles in your way, you got to be in the best. And somehow, something inside me tells me to work my best now.
Foreman's second title defense served to further his devastating reputation as he made quick work of Ken Norton.
I hope to stay as active as possible. I'm not interested in one contender no more than the other. I think that Ken Norton is the beginning of a lot of big things for me in boxing.
At age 26, Foreman had an aura of invincibility that overshadowed all of his peers with one exception.
The whole world will have to bear witness that Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time.
Muhammad Ali was 32 in the 4th year of his comeback from a forced retirement following his refusal to be drafted during the Vietnam War. A Supreme Court ruling freed Ali to return, but a decade had passed since he upset Liston to win the heavyweight championship of the world.
Get up there, Joe! Get up there! Get up in the ring! Let's shoot up the world! Joe, let's go the world!
The man is sore. The man is flat-footed. The man don't stand a chance. The stage has been set. This man is supposed to annihilate me. 10 years from Sonny Liston, I was supposed to be get at that time. I think it's befitting that I go out of boxing just like I came in, shocking the world by beating a big, bad, ugly monster that nobody could beat.
Ali's road back to contention had been anything but smooth. He was knocked down and beaten by Frazier in their legendary first fight. But 3 years later, Ali earned another title shot via decisions over Ken Norton in a rematch and by defeating Frazier in their second of 3 meetings. Facing the prospect of challenging the ferocious Foreman, Ali began to attack in a familiar fashion, the verbal barrage.
You all talk about I'm old, about my legs are gone, but you forget that I danced 12 rounds with Joe Frazier. The 11th and the 12th round I came on through. The Ken Norton fight pulled me out. The 11th and 12th round I came on through. I'll dance every minute, every round. And I want George Foreman for men and this man over here, Henry Clark, the #6 contender, to go back and tell the man to be ready for a dance. Dance! Are we gonna dance?
Dance all night long.
Are we gonna dance?
All night long.
Are we gonna
All
dance?
night long.
Are we gonna dance?
All night long.
Yeah, let the man
We
say
came to Africa to dance.
Let the man talk.
This fight occurred at the time of a great black awakening. Black is best, black is beautiful, and both camps felt a great affinity for the emerging third nation of Zaire from the third world. And in so showing this affinity for brotherhood, they dressed as they conceived the Africans would be dressed. Therefore, they came in dashikis off the airplane. They had large afros. And when they got off the plane ready to embrace their African brotherhood and bond and great black friendship, they found that the Africans did not dress as they anticipated, but they dressed as most Americans and Europeans dress.
Of course, they didn't have a good idea about the African people, how they live, what they do, how they dress.
While George Foreman was stuck in a downtown hotel, besieged by fans and media attention, Muhammad Ali, 40 miles away in the Celly, was nice and peaceful and quiet, luxuriating in these villas with a band of hardy men around him and the rest of the villas. The Ali Circus congregated here for one purpose alone, to get Ali to win the heavyweight championship of the world and take it away from George Foreman. Now, Ali had one particular advantage. He had brought Lana Shabazz, his own cook, with him and her vast supply of home cooking. Now, George Foreman was riddled with anxieties in his hotel, meanwhile, because he thought his food was being poisoned. A notion put there by the irrepressible Drew Boondini Brown, who lost no chance to tell the hotel staff that we were poisoning George Foreman's food.
The vibrations are against him, the planets are against him, and already he lost the first 5 rounds.
Right.
Is that right?
That's
are we
right.
on the days?
Gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble.
Despite Boondini and Ali's best effort at psychological warfare, Foreman appeared oblivious to their bluster, mainly because although both fighters trained in the celly, they rarely saw each other. Reverent crowds gathered to witness Foreman's daily workouts, which were highlighted by the booming punches unleashed on his sparring partners. As the champion's entourage made the hour-long trek back to town, Ali's sessions would commence. No hushed atmosphere here. African drums accompanied the challenger's every move as he trained with a nearly religious fervor for his chance to regain the heavyweight title. Preparations of a different sort were underway in Kinshasa as Mobutu's new sports stadium was readied for the expected crowd in excess of 60,000 fight fans and civic-minded citizens of Zaire. Except for a small VIP section, stadium seating was non-existent. No seats, no tickets, no ticket numbers, no seats. So the tickets were ordered anyway from Philadelphia, and 3 or 4 days before the fight, the tickets came in. Major crisis. President Mobutu's name was misspelled. Back went the tickets to Philadelphia, and it turned out that that crisis was solved by an even bigger crisis.
Some things happen, and happen, they always happen with the best. Well,
Sparring less than a week before the fight, Foreman was cut above the right eye. As his handlers, Dick Sadler and Archie Moore, examined the damage, it was obvious that the showdown would have to be postponed for at least 1 month. Ali seemed to sense and draw power from the location, from Africa, that he was close to his roots. Many evenings he would sit here on this walk by the Zaire River, seeming to draw strength from the river itself, from the primordial surroundings, and ramble on talking about what he was going to do to George Foreman, how the plan was going to develop, seemed to draw strength as the days went by. As the endless days after the cut went by, he got stronger and stronger as he ruminated with Angelo and his other companions as to what he was going to do to George Foreman when that fateful night came up.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. George can't hit what his eyes can't see. Now you see me, now you don't. You think you will, but I know you won't.
Very good.
This is gonna be a good fight. I wanna say that plan to make this my last fight, and I'm gonna shock the whole world. I think it's befitting that I go out of boxing like I came in 10 years from the day I beat Sonny Liston, destroying another Sonny Liston who idolized Sonny Liston. He jumps ropes like Sonny Liston. He walks around with a stare, sad face like Sonny Liston. He's awkward and slow, and he hits hard like Sonny Liston. And I think it's befitting that 1974 stage couldn't be said no better, that I retire this man just like I did Liston.
Right. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Angelo Dundee.
Is that all the time I get? Okay.
Thank you, Ben Dugabula and Dick.
Don't do that, turn away. Don't do that, turn away. Get away.
Gaining momentum, Ali even questioned the champion's desire to fight.
I predict that whenever the fight is set, he might not show up.
Et je suis sûr qu'avant que le combat ne soit prêt, il va disparaître.
I just want all helicopters guarded, private boats, private jets entering this space. I want the airport. I'm serious. I want the president. I want all of you Zaireans to be on guard.
And fight night finally arrived, as did Zaire's moment in the sun, which actually took place around 3 a.m. local time. You know, boxing myths are born. When someone misinterprets a fact, then repeats it over and over and over again in the press, pretty soon it's accepted as fact. Let's explode one such myth. Angelo Dundee didn't loosen the ropes in Zaire. Right here on this spot, the ring in the middle of this football field had ropes that were sagging badly. When Angelo saw that, he went and got Bobby Goodman. They tried to tighten those ropes as much as they could. Finally, they got to the point where no matter how much they tightened, it would only still be sagging. He went into the dressing room, told Ali, hey, these ropes are loose. That's as good as we can do. And Ali said, well, we'll have to use that. It wasn't Angelo Dundee that was loosening the ropes. It was Muhammad Ali's fertile mind that created the rope-a-dope, which became the factor that won the fight for him. The ill-fitting ropes were just part of a most unusual setting, even by Ali's circus standards. Native African dancers filled the stadium floor just minutes before we made our way from the dressing room. Zaire had set a dramatic stage for the action to come.
Finally, fight time. And here's how it sounded that night.